You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome back, Rob. We had some really good news last week in girls basketball. A couple of Madison County, Indiana All-Stars.
It was pretty incredible. I pretty much was already starting to formulate in my mind yet another why the IHSA hates Madison County column after we've had some pretty high-profile snubs the last, 7, 8 years. But we were hoping, crossing our fingers, that one would get in. The feeling was, and I talked to Mickey Hosier about this at the Top 60 workout, a lot of us felt like there were 8 or 9 kids playing for 2 spots. And there were some surprises on the team, so maybe we had that all wrong. And so when we first heard that both made it in, it was like, well, they got both those spots. But I think there were some other surprises in there. But, yeah, I'm so happy for Kayci Warfel and Jacklynn Hosier. And, of course, we've documented their season and what they've done and the historic nature of it. And for it to end this way as part of the Indiana All-Stars it's perfect. I mean, I can't think of a better way for those two to wrap up their career. And I don't know how deep you want to get into this, but this might be starting a kind of a run on the Indiana All-Stars
That's right.
for our area, we hope. But yeah, a little surprised that both got in. Actually, quite frankly, I was surprised that either one of them got in, and that's not to say they weren't deserving. It's just, right. When you have a Supreme 15 in Tyra Ford and she doesn't get named to the team, and Amir Carson is not named to the team, and the year Sydney Tucker and Bree Bowles were seniors and they were not all Indiana All-Stars, it's you start to get a little jaded this time of year, and that was. But having said all that, really happy for these 2 kids.
I really thought Jack would be on the team because she is a Division I signee. I was really pleasantly surprised by Kayci, who, by the way, was equally good to Jacklynn Hosier as a high school player, if not better. I'm just saying that when the people who vote for that look at it, they say, "Oh, Division I." They tend to give a check mark to those players as someone who voted for that. So that's why I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, and I think you could look at the other way around and say, well, maybe Hosier's lack of statewide publicity and maybe a lighter schedule than what Warfel played might have hurt her. To your point, Warfel is a Division I recruit. She was recruited by Ball State. She was offered.
Right.
But she chose to play at Taylor. She wants to play with her sister again. And who can blame her? I mean,
absolutely.
It's a family thing. So
plus Taylor grads are the best people on earth.
Well, you can think that if you want. Present company excluded, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. But yeah, so I just think they're both very deserving. All those little buts and ifs we just threw out there, throw them out the window. I think they're both deserving, and really looking forward to seeing them play against Kentucky. We're gonna be busy. You got Lanaya Wills is on the junior All-Star team, and Ada Hupfer from Pendleton's on the girls team. We'll find out about some boys here later in the year.
And Lanaya Wills will be a no-doubter next year.
She better be. I mean, I thought Tyra Ford was a no-doubter a few years ago with Anderson. I mean, I really did. But yeah, I think Lanaya is a no-doubter. I think Ada Hupfer is a no-doubter here in a couple of years. And, we'll see what Serenity Conyers for Liberty Christian does. She's a freshman this year. We'll see how she grows and develops. But it could be quite a run. I think we're going to hear some news on the boys' side this year. I really feel strongly that Damian King of Anderson will make the boys' team. At least we're hoping.
Yeah,
he should. He absolutely should.
I can't imagine that he won't. But like you said, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open on the boys' junior team. Maybe Cooper Sims of Pendleton, perhaps. Had a great year this year. I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but really came on this year much bigger than what we were expecting. So,
right.
He's another one I'd keep an eye on.
He was a kid who, when we did our season preview, would have mentioned him probably third at the beginning of the season. But at the end of the season, the exit podcast, he was definitely number 1 this year for the Arabians.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about the futures game. I mean, we were just talking about in a previous segment, the Liberty Christian Lions, they got 3 sophomores on that team who would, pick one or pick all 3 would be ideal additions to that futures game. Hopefully Madison County, which has been largely unrecognized in this area, I think since Sean McDermott in 2015. So it's been 10
Oh,
years since
wow.
we've had an Indiana All-Star. So,
Whoa, I didn't realize that.
yeah, so 20 years for the girls, which is incredible. Maybe we're gonna start getting a whole lot more June basketball for Madison County. And then that's happening in the Indiana All-Stars is happening in June, but here coming up at the end of this month and the 1st of April, Jalen Haralson, Anderson native, who played the last 2 years up at La Lumiere in LaPorte, he's going to be participating in the McDonald's All-American game.
That's right.
So, really excited for him. He's, won a gold medal with the 18Us, or was it 17Us? I don't remember. I think it was 17U World Games last year, and he's going to play at Notre Dame. And really nice kid. Finally got to meet him in person and talk with him Saturday down at the regional site. And we talked about Notre Dame. We talked about the McDonald's All-American selection, and he's looking forward to it. He's pretty excited. I think they said he heads out on the 28th for workouts, and then there's a 3-point contest, dunk contest, all that stuff going on. They're going to be playing at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. And of course, he'll be going to Notre Dame, where former Jeffersonville basketball star Micah Shrewsbury will be his head coach. So
he will be his head coach.
That's
Absolutely.
very cool.
A couple of local talents are children of Notre Dame products. Joe and John Ross. Of course, we have them to thank for Avery Ross and Tristan Ross, some pretty good talent here in the area. Michaela Ross.
And Rob, Wednesday night is the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame ceremony, and you are going to have some interest in that one. I assume you're going to be there for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll miss the during the midday ceremony, but that evening is their banquet, and we have 4 local products will be there. Of course, the great Anderson player Troy Lewis,
one of my all-time
favorites. To play at Purdue. Yep, absolutely. He goes in as their coaches. Ron Heklinski will be going in, and Jim Shannon, who made a name for himself playing for Anderson, but also mainly coaching down in your neck of the woods at New Albany.
Right, one of my favorites.
He goes in, and then one of my all-time favorite guys, Dave McCullough, who locally coached at Shenandoah, also made a name for himself coaching at Noblesville and North Judson and a number of other places. But I know him from Shenandoah, one of the great characters that you'll ever come across. He's overdue for it. Maybe all these guys are overdue, but certainly I think Dave is overdue to get into the Hall of Fame. Did I tell you my favorite Dave McCullough quote?
Please.
Okay. Well, Ashley Fouch, of course, the woman who's coaching at Daleville, the boys team.
Of course, yep.
Her first victory as coach of the boys team was against Dave McCullough in Shenandoah. And I have a great amount of respect for Dave. I know he's a giant of this game in the state, and so I wanted to kind of get his take on the history of the moment. And I asked him what his thoughts were, and he said he's very happy for her, but I wish to hell it had been against somebody else. One of the all-time great quotes.
Yeah.
And that's just Dave's just an amazing guy. So really looking forward to seeing him Wednesday. I'm actually fortunate that a friend had an extra seat come open and is gonna treat me to it. So looking forward to that.
Outstanding. By the way, Troy Lewis is one of the major reasons I became a Purdue fan as a young child, and Jim Shannon is one of my all-time favorite high school coaches I've ever covered. Not a nicer man you will meet.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to meeting some of those guys. I mean, I've talked to Troy on the phone, and you shared your memories. And my memories of him, he's one of the reasons why. Not him, but his 1988 Purdue team is one of the reasons I've never picked Purdue to go past the second round since. Because I had that 88 team winning the dang thing, and
Rob, that's
But for some guy named Mitch Richmond, who turned out to be pretty
ugh.
darn good, Purdue might have. I mean, that team was so good in 1988. But
Rob,
Kansas State,
that is the last sporting event that made me cry.
is that right?
That's
Wow,
right. When Everett
wow.
Stevens dribbled the ball off his foot, a team that Purdue had beaten by 30 points earlier in the regular season.
It was
Oh,
just the year of Kansas, right? I mean,
yes, it
Kansas
was.
State made the Final Four that year, and Mitch Richmond, who knew? I mean, he ended up having a phenomenal NBA career too, and I don't think any of us saw that coming. I mean, it was
No.
just an assumption that Purdue was going to the championship game that year.
I remember I'm a huge fan and I barely paid attention. I was that convinced they were going to win. And then it kept being close, was close, and then it was a disaster.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was in
We
front
thought we,
of
we thought we were going to have back-to-back Hoosier State champions, right?
That's
Because
right.
Indiana won in '87, and then we were thinking Purdue in '88, but it was not to be.
And it's been not to be ever since. But what else,
Right.
what else are you working on, Rob?
Yeah, that and we got we'll be visiting with Liberty Christian this week and doing some pre-semi-state coverage, and we'll have a preview later in the week. I'll hopefully catch up with Maddie Marsh, Pendletonite sophomore, who we remember well, winning her second straight state championship earlier this year. She also just won a national folk style championship over in Iowa. So hopefully catch up with her sometime this week. And so we gotta chock. There's not a lot of games going on, but we're chock full of local coverage this week.